Hello, welcome back. It's Alexander Sebastian with Parents as Partners, and today we're going to be talking about the challenge of being an expat and having friends. You know what, I have a friend named Dick Jenkins, and he and I went to grade school together from first grade through the 8th grade. We were friends through high school, and now we've celebrated our 50th year high school class reunion, and Dick Jenkins was head of the organizing committee. So that's a pretty long friendship for anyone, I think. For my kids, it's a bit different. You know, they have the longest they've ever lived in one country is China, and that was for 6 years. So they have been moving every 4, 5, or 6 years since they were born, and making friendships has been a frequent challenge for them, but they've made some very good friends over the time, I'm happy to say, and most of the experience has been very positive. For my wife and myself also, every time we think about moving, it means leaving our friends behind, leaving the familiar place that we know in our house, and sometimes our pets, and moving on to a new place, and having the challenge of making new friends and settling in again. So with this globalization, the whole friendship is becoming much more of a transient thing, but the function of a friend is still pretty much the same. For our kids, I can say that although they have good friends at school, a lot of their friendships, if you can call them that, are being built on the internet with friends that they play games with there and in the chat rooms. The concept of friendship is changing with the internet. My kids, some of their friends are on the people that they have never met, that they met in chat rooms, or that they play games with in the gaming websites. For my wife and I think friendship is still the idea that it's an interactive process between people, that they can share caring and understanding, let off steam, and have common interests together. For my friends back home, they still meet once a month at a restaurant, and they share their joys and their sorrows and the old times. And when I go back home, I enjoy meeting up with them and catching up with them. Some of them haven't changed at all, some of them have changed quite a bit, but it's always nice to meet up with them. For expat, things are different. You know, we come in to a place, we develop skills at finding friends, and also, although it's difficult, we have learned how to say goodbye to our friends. So what does an expat do and to make friends and to say goodbye gracefully with them, and hopefully keep up a relationship with them through Skype? So for making friends, I think we have come to the realization that unlike in childhood, where we identified a person as our friend, not realizing that it's not the physical person, but it's their personal qualities that we like and we feel comfortable with and that reinforce us, and this is what makes our friendship when we're a child. It's even as an adult, we look for those characteristics in the people. For example, they have a good sense of humor, they have interesting topics to talk about, they're honest, they're available when we need them, and of course, friendship is a two-way path. We try to reciprocate with having open ears when our friends need us, and it takes time, and making the effort to reach out to our friends when they need us, and sharing is a two-way street. So back to this idea of finding the qualities of the friends we like or that we want to make. We can't take most people who live in the same place. They take a shotgun approach. They go out, they meet people, and finally they develop a relationship with people. We don't have that luxury of the time to develop, just let chance run our relationships. We have to intentionally manage our relationships with people, and we do that by identifying those characteristics we like, putting ourselves out there into a basket of people and saying, yes, I like this person because they have a good sense of humor. I like this person because they like to play tennis. I like this person because they have an interest in politics. Even if it's not the same that I have, at least we can have interesting discussions. So common interests is what our friendships are built on, and a emotional element of just being available to each other and perhaps sharing the same sense of humor. A psychotherapist named Diana Summers, sounds like the old singer Diana Summers. She's a psychotherapist, and she has made somewhat of a specialty analyzing friendships in the expat community. She has been an expat herself for a long time in India, and I think she found an interest in this because of her difficulty in saying goodbye to friends that she had in Delhi. Even though that she had the training, she said it was very difficult, and she felt like she was abandoned when her friends left her. And that if you're the leavee, the person that's being left behind, rather than the leaver, it is more difficult because you might feel more like a victim, whereas the person who is leaving, they're going on to new things, and it's their choice. Miss Summers gives us 3 tips on how to deal with friendships in expat environment. The first one, and I'm going to read this, is to acknowledge your sadness and enjoy your friendship while it lasts. So, count ourselves lucky when you find someone that you can develop a friendship, a relationship with, especially in the expat community, because often relationships are limited to the workplace, especially for singles who don't have a family at home. So when they do find a friend that they can actually feel something with, they value it highly. So when they are left behind, the experience it might be a mix of bittersweet joy at having known this person and memories of all the good things you've shared together, but awareness that your paths might not cross again. Okay, so you'll have Skype and you can get together and talk, but what we found happens that over time, those Skype calls become the time between the Skype calls becomes greater and greater, and eventually both parties move on. But no regrets, you had a good time together. The second point is that nothing ventured, nothing gained, says a psychotherapist. So you have to get out there, take a risk, and hopefully you're going to meet someone. Don't feel, she says in her studies that some people said, why bother, because it's going to end, so it won't be a long-term relationship, or one of us is going to be leaving, so why even bother put the effort out there to build a relationship just to have your, you can say, hearts broken, or your relationship broken by the departure. Well, she says, you have to take the risk and go out there. The warmth of human friendship is what enriches life and makes it worthwhile. So in spite of knowing that it's going to end, you need to get out there and make those friendships to enhance the quality of your life. And it can't just be all work or dedicated to your company, or even in discovering the culture. You need that warmth and emotional bond or friendship to make every day a little bit more human and worthwhile. And the third tip that she gives is that when friendships end, get back on the horse. Of course you're going to feel sorrow, you're going to feel an emptiness in your life, especially if your friendships are built on physical activities, such as a tennis partner or someone that you met every Thursday afternoon for coffee. That's going to leave that a hole in your time schedule, and you're going to feel it particularly bad. physical activities that you do together, or vacation partners that you travel with, shopping partners, when they are gone, it hurts more than just a coffee partner or someone you meet at the PTA meeting once a month. But you just have to get back on that horse, and there are more people out there with the same qualities that you enjoyed sharing with the other person. It's up to you to get out, identify them, and then try to build a relationship with that person. One other tip is that when you're out consciously seeking friendships, this is an opportunity to expand your horizons. Don't just go with the people who play tennis with you, or share the same political points of view, or come from the same country. This is an opportunity to make friends of the locals in the community that you live with, or meet people from different backgrounds, different sports, different religions, different countries, and expand your personal experiences by making friendship with these people. This is an opportunity, and the psychotherapist points this off. Every time one person walks out of our lives, they make space for us to share time with new friends. So yes, live the sadness, acknowledge it, live it, and intentionally go out there to fill the spot with someone else who can make your life better and enrich it, and draw you into areas that you would not have been in otherwise. And now for your children. As an expat parent, you have an obligation to your children to let them know that the transiency of friendship is part of the life that your family has chosen. And remind them that there are great benefits in this life. Okay, they won't have, as their cousins back home, a whole life, childhood with the same friends, but on the counterpart, they will have a richness of a variety of nationalities that they will deal with that their cousins back home won't have, and a chance to be exposed to all types of cultural events and ideas and songs and dresses, and it can only be enriching. But they all have a lifespan that will probably be shorter than what they would have back home. Now, when this loss of a friend comes, don't underestimate it. Don't try to sweep it under the carpet, either for you or for your children or your partner. You might see a big mood swing. They are grieving, and you might be grieving. Just acknowledge it, talk about it, and it's going to take time, but they will work through it, you will work through it, and it might take 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Be supportive during that time. Be supportive of yourself and those family members who have lost those friends. Now, when you know that you're going to be the leaver, share that with your friends as early as possible, so that you both have a time to grieve together on it. I've heard of some experiences where one person announces to another that they're leaving, and the person who's being left behind decides, okay, just cut off the relationship right now. I don't want to go through this grieving. I don't want to go through the journey with you as you prepare to leave. Well, for your well-being, it's best to try to continue that relationship till you leave. Relive the good experiences. Expect your friend to help you make the transition. That's what friends do. And in the last days, don't get caught up in the moving, that you don't have enough time to go out with your friend, and take the time required to say goodbye in an unhurried way. Of course, you're going to see them on Skype when you move into your new place, but be sure you have that time. And also with your family, when you're leaving, have everything packed up as early as possible. When the movers come, you still want to have your things there up until the end, but when they do move out, take the time to go out, walk around the town with your family, have dinner in the best restaurant, the one that you like best as a family. Remember the good times, and then when you get back home, it's empty, and you're ready for to leave the next day to the airport. Leave relaxed and not all nervous and with a feeling of sadness, but leave with an optimistic attitude that the new adventures are going to be waiting you and new friends in your new home abroad. Okay, so that's it for this episode of Parents as Partners. I hope you've enjoyed this. This applies, what we've said here applies to people who are moving within the same country, not necessarily expats. Losing friends is always hard to do, to recap the verse from the song. But when you're prepared and when mentally and organize your time to have a fitting farewell, it makes it better for everybody. Okay, so that's it for this time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing to Parents as Partners, and we'll see you next time for something we think will be useful and helpful for you. Okay, bye-bye.